Let's see if this works first time. It's been a while since I did a live stream, so please bear with me while I just get things set up. Let's have a look. Let's see if anybody joins. I do appreciate the lack of notice, but I was thinking that it's been a while since I did a live stream, and as you guys know, this really is the best way I can interact with you. I can answer questions. We can talk about what's happening in the streaming world and just spend a little bit of time together. So I definitely do enjoy it, and I do promise to do more of these streams. I just need to get my time management sorted. So let's give it a couple of seconds, see if anybody joins. Then I'll start with the updates, and then we can go through if anybody has any questions. So if anybody is watching, if anybody can hear me, please do send a chat message. Let's see. Okay, so here we have Wuja. Welcome. In fact, I think this is our tradition for the TDUK live stream. The first thing I always ask is, please do say hello and also let me know where you're watching from, because it's always interesting to see just how far the TDUK family really goes. Let's just go do some quick hellos. Okay, so hello, Wuja. Nice to see you here. Jesus, hello there. We have Mel Freeman. We have Connie from Kentucky. We have Stephen from Birmingham. Thank you there. We have Paul all the way from down under Australia. Very nice. Hey TJC, nice to see you here. So we'll just spend a couple of minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we'll spend a couple of minutes, go through the hellos, and then I'll give you a few updates on my channel. Some of the updates we've seen recently on what's happening with the Fire Sticks, the developer options, hiding third-party applications, and then I'll take your questions, anything you want to know or want to discuss in the streaming world about your Android TVs, your Fire Sticks, VPNs, Build-A-Brid, torrents, streaming applications. But regarding the streaming applications, I have to be a bit cautious on how I answer those questions, so please do bear with me. Okay, so we got Jerry, welcome aboard, it's one of my channel members. Hey J-Mac, how's it going? We have John from Ireland. Hey Stephen. Okay, so I'm glad you guys can hear me, because otherwise I've been talking to myself for the last few minutes. We have Pete Blue. Hey Pete, how's it going? We have Alan from Ohio. We have Patrick, one of my channel mods and also moderator of this chat, so many thanks to the moderators. Also Tim, another moderator, many thanks for joining. Hey Chip, I'm very well, thanks for joining. Yeah, so we'll get on to this whole debate between Amazon and Android TVs, and are Amazon just shooting themselves in the foot by trying to make third-party sideloading as difficult as possible. Hey Ron. Hey Fletch, evening mate. We have Chip all the way from Barbados, I mean, lucky guy. And we have Andrea from Brantford, Canada. And we have Mr. Vandross. So many thanks for everybody for joining. We'll let the other people come in, but like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time. But if I just mention a couple of things, as I'm sure you guys are aware, in the last few Amazon updates, we've seen that Amazon are trying seemingly to make the process of sideloading third-party applications, I wouldn't say impossible, because we know there is a very easy workaround, but we can see for the novice user, they are trying to make the process as difficult as possible. So if I'm just a standard guy, I buy a Fire Stick, I see all of these tutorials online, but when I go to my developer options, I just can't see it. So if I didn't know about finding things on YouTube or searching online, then I may just give up, and in that way Amazon can say they've prevented somebody installing third-party applications. So I can see why they're doing it, because they probably are facing so much pressure, shall we say, from the big media companies that, as you know, the majority of people that do buy Fire Sticks, they don't really buy it to stream official applications. Of course, there are many people that do that, but many people, and I would say probably more than 50%, buy a Fire Stick only with the intention of sideloading third-party applications. Now, I'm not going to go in details in what these applications are, but I'm sure you guys know what the score is. Now, with Amazon releasing this update and making this process a little bit harder for the novice user, it does look like they are taking steps to try and minimize how many people do actually sideload on their devices. So that's just one update that's come out, and we've seen in the past where they released other updates where they've blocked things like custom launchers, they've blocked things like the ability to block updates. All these things from Amazon's point of view hurt their bottom line because, for example, with the custom launcher, if they can't show their adverts on the home screen, then from their point of view, they're losing money. So they're going to block that process. Similarly with the updates, for them to have the ability to make changes to your device, they want to have the ability, so you must get these updates. So the previous method that we had, which allowed us to block updates, that was also closed off from Amazon by them doing another update. So lots of changes, and as I mentioned before, over time they are slowly making the entire process more difficult, and many people I do know have switched over to the Android TV operating system. And in fact, it would be interesting if you guys leave a comment and let me know what is your current primary streaming device. Is it an Amazon device or is it Android TV? Let me just go through some of the comments quickly. Yeah, so Tim is saying here that he gave up on Amazon devices 5 years ago and he's never looked back. And one of the key things is with Android TVs, I mean, we can't say for sure, but definitely right now, they do allow more customization than the Amazon Fire devices, even though we had some level of flexibility before, like we could use custom launchers, like we could make some changes. Over time, those avenues or those different customizations have all been slowly closed down. Whereas on Android TVs, you can pick up a Chromecast with Google TV, you can pick up a TiVo Stream, or even the On streaming stick or streaming box. All those devices are fairly competitively priced, and all of them will allow you to fully customize your device if that's what you want, and you won't have any issues where you won't be able to block something or change something. That flexibility still exists on Android TV, whereas, as we mentioned, that is slowly being closed off on the Amazon devices. Hey Lester, nice to see you on here. I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, so JMac here we can see is also saying a Shield and a Google Chromecast. I just wish with the Google Chromecast that it definitely is a very capable device. I don't particularly like the remote control, but I just wish they released more updates and fixed some of those bugs that people reported a long time ago. I mean, my Google Chromecast is still in my drawer because I just found too many issues with it initially. I know they have released an update, and I do believe another update is coming in the next couple of weeks. So it'll be interesting to see what they've got planned. And if they do really step things up, fix the software issues, that really could potentially be a very good competitor to the Amazon Fire Stick. Hey Alan, nice to see you on here. Hey BB, what's up? All the way from Brooklyn. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Okay, so Joy says she's just purchased an Android TV device. It'd be interesting to know which one you've purchased. I would say, because Pete has a 4K Fire Stick, I would say most of the people recently purchasing Fire Sticks have all jumped on the 4K Max, which is currently my main device I make my videos on. But overall, I would say more people have the 4K Fire Stick than the newer 4K Fire Stick Max. And one key difference between the two is the 4K Fire Stick runs Fire OS 6, which is Android 7, whereas the newer 4K Fire Stick Max runs Android 9, which is Fire OS 7. Okay, so we can see Android has 2 Fire Sticks, and it's the other thing that when you buy one, you end up buying another one for the bedroom, or maybe another one for your travels. They are very good devices. There's no doubt about it, and I would always recommend even a cheaper Fire Stick than maybe a cheaper Chinese Android box where you're probably not going to get any updates. The software may be buggy. You just don't really get much support. Whereas with even with the cheapest Fire Stick, at least you know that the device is going to get updates. You are going to be able to watch Netflix in HD or in 4K. Similarly with Prime or YouTube, because those devices have official certification, at least you can enjoy the content in that highest possible quality. Now, of course, you can mitigate all of that if you just install a third-party application and access your content through those means. But I'm just saying, for the normal guy looking at normal applications, official streaming applications, with the Amazon devices, you do get that official certification. Okay, so we have Fletch saying that Amazon all the way. For me, it just works. And this is true for many people. And maybe this is a good point for me to quickly mention that I did receive quite a few comments. Well, okay, maybe less than 10, but definitely more than a few from people over my last few videos regarding the Amazon update. Basically saying things like, why am I talking about the update? I thought, the TechDoctorUK was never going to update. Why am I singing Amazon's praises? Why am I showcasing the features? Why did I tell people to block updates, but now I'm showing all the new features? I mean, it's a fair question if you didn't really understand my previous videos, but I will just reiterate one more time that I will say again that if you want to use custom launchers by using the home button, which basically means you want to use Launcher Manager to remap your home button so it launches a custom launcher, if that's your particular use case, then 100% don't get the latest Amazon update, because as you guys know, with the latest update, it breaks that functionality. But it shouldn't be a surprise that for many people, they are happy with the stock launcher. Yes, they may not like the adverts and the sponsored content, but overall, they do want to see the new features. They want to see what Amazon has got, coming around the corner. And because of that, they're happy doing the latest updates. So me showcasing those features is for the majority of my audience who are getting the latest update, just so you guys can see what's in that particular update. So that's why I made those videos. But it was quite interesting that people were saying that, I was anti-Amazon, I didn't want to do updates, which really is just not the case. So the Wolf launcher or custom launchers, if that is your only use case, then again, don't update. Okay, so Joy actually bought the Mecool KM7 box, and actually Mecool did reach out to me, and they wanted me to review some of their boxes, so I may look into that again. But I think one key thing about the Mecool boxes is they do have Netflix certification. So on this particular box, you'll be able to watch Netflix in high definition. Okay, so this one, I mean, I don't want to say I've totally given up. I am looking for other options. So for the people that do want to use a custom launcher, what's another way they can use that using the latest updates? So I'm still looking for a better workaround. One method I did show was the launch on boot, where you can install the application, set the Wolf launcher to launch on boot. Then anytime you restart your device, it will automatically boot into the Wolf launcher. The only thing you can't do is press the home key, but for the majority of applications, you can just press the back button, and that will allow you to exit the application, and that will actually go back to the Wolf launcher and not the stock launcher. But again, you just can't press the home button. So here is Mr. Just One More. So you'll probably be surprised, guys, but I 100% do recognize the names in the chat, in the comments. I know the people that regularly leave feedback. I mean, for example, Just One More has been with me for at least 3 years, and it normally just says Smithers. So I definitely remember, and I do really appreciate your support. I appreciate that you guys have been sticking around, especially as my content did pivot away from the Care application and some of those more exotic APKs. My content did change, but hopefully I was able to build a new audience and still keep my older audience happy with some of the other applications and tips and tricks that I found. So I do really appreciate your support. Okay, so clearly Andrea is a very streaming heavy person. Multiple Android boxes, multiple Fire Sticks. I think it's great. I mean, I really can't believe people pay those ridiculous cable prices, especially when you can, stream for much cheaper in various different methods. Okay, so we have another comment here from Gustavo saying, I've been from Panama. I've been using Fire Sticks for a number of years now. Not a problem with me. Fair enough. And I think for many people, that's also the same case. Now, this one I'm actually a bit embarrassed about, probably because I've just failed in so many times trying to get my application approved. I think I've tried about 5 times, and it's a really long-winded, frustrating process whereby you fill out a form, you submit your APK to the Google Play Store, you give a description about the application, but in every case, and I think it's mainly because of my application makes an ADB connection. Because of that, I think they're just seeing it as a dangerous app or a harmful app, and it keeps on getting rejected. So I really have to look for an alternative now, maybe hosting it somewhere else or just for an option. But I really think the Play Store dream is, I would say, officially over. So I do apologize. I know you guys were waiting for that. I am trying to explore other avenues on how I can bring this application to you. Okay, so Ron Smith has the FiCube and the MeCore KM3. Interesting. I wonder if you guys have seen the new FiCube 3 that's potentially going to be launching quite soon. I mean, the Fire TV Cube is definitely currently the most powerful Amazon device you can buy, and if you don't care about game streaming or emulation, and you really just want the most powerful streaming device, I would personally pick the Fire TV Cube over the Nvidia Shield. Okay, so I think JMac has the original Beast Mode Fire TV box, the one that has the SD card slot, also has a dedicated Ethernet, and that also has the full-size USB, and that really was a beast of a box. I had that myself, but unfortunately, as it was running Fire OS 5, which is Android 5, Amazon just there's just no updates for it. So, and many applications now, they just will not run on older Android, especially something as old as Android 5. Okay, we got some 4K Fire Stick Max users here. Yeah, I mean, for majority of people, it just works really well. I still think, compared to a Chromecast, even compared to the Nvidia Shield, I personally prefer the remote control of an Amazon 4K Fire Stick Max than any of those other devices. It just works really well. I know there have been some issues where people are reporting the battery keeps on getting depleted, or they have some connectivity issues, but I've not experienced anything myself. In fact, do leave me a comment if you have seen any issues with your Amazon Fire TV remote. Hey Andy, nice to see you on here. So we have another person with the original Fire TV box. Yeah, so this is one of the I would say the benefits or the ease of using Android TV. I mean, I know they've made some changes with the Fire OS 7 devices where USB storage is a lot easier. Typically on these Android TV devices, especially if they have a full-size USB port, literally just put in any USB drive, go to your settings, go to storage, go to USB, and you can very quickly format that storage as internal storage. As soon as you do that, you can now start installing applications direct to USB, and you can even move supported applications over to the USB drive. That whole process is just so much easier on Android TVs compared to the Amazon devices. Hey man, fellow Londoner, nice to see you on here. Hey Pay, thank you for joining. Okay, I'm going to start looking for questions now. This one, I actually saw a couple of comments on this. Now, I don't know if you follow another YouTuber, but there's a guy called Downloading Pirate. A good guy. I have spoken to him in the past. Another person that went through the whole streaming headache of making content on streaming applications, and then due to copyright strikes, community guideline strikes, he was forced to change his content. Now, I did see recently he posted a video on how you can fix the buffering issues on Smart YouTube. I think it's called Smart YouTube Next. So definitely check his video out. I believe there's something in the settings that allows you to mitigate some of those buffering issues. So do have a look. Yeah, this one, I mean, I know for people that do support, or for people that actually sell Fire Sticks, or people that have customers with Fire Sticks, it would be great if we had a really easy to use, fully working solution whereby I could be sitting in my house but take control of somebody else's Fire Stick. So if somebody needs to, if they're confused about how to make a change of setting, or if I need to uninstall something, I can do that from the comfort of my house but taking control of their Fire Stick. Now, the previous method that was working was the AnyDesk method, but unfortunately that was also patched by Amazon. I'd say there is the visor method, which I have demonstrated, but the only disadvantage of that is it requires the person who's going to be accepting the control of their device. They have to do some stuff on their end and send you a special sharing link to your device or to your email. Once you click on that, that will then allow you to connect to that device. But that initial step of creating that shareable link, it probably is too much for people that are not very tech savvy. This is a great question, and I mean, I don't want to speak for Sweenwolf, but my understanding is he has stopped the development of that. So the last update, which was Wolf Launcher 0.19, that is the last update that I'm aware of, and I haven't seen any changes to that. And that update was actually released last year. I think there was some, shall we say, flack in the community. Not really our community, but like for example on XDA, I think as custom launches became more popular, then obviously my videos became more popular. Then lots of people started questioning where did this Wolf launcher come from? Where is the source code? And some of those questions, I think it made it a bit difficult for Sweenwolf to answer. And for people that don't know, basically Wolf Launcher is a mod of the ATV launcher. Now the ATV launcher was an official launcher. It was on the Play Store, but the guy that made it, he hadn't updated it for I think 3 or 4 years. So what Wolf did was he got that launcher, he reverse engineered it, he fixed up loads of bugs, renamed it as the Wolf Launcher, and then the rest of the story. But as people were constantly questioning him, asking for the source code, I think that might have just put him off, and I don't think he's going to be making any updates to that. I mean, if you are looking for other custom launchers compatible with Amazon devices, you do have the leanback launcher, which as you know is very similar to Android TVs. That is open source, that is getting updates, so if you want to check that out, that's also available. There's another launcher called I think it's FX Launcher or something, or I don't know if anybody knows in the comments. Well, I think, sorry, it's F Launcher, so the letter F Launcher, so that's another open source one. So if you guys do want to check those out, those are publicly available. Hey Richie, so all the way from the Philippines, appreciate you joining, appreciate your support, thank you. Yeah, so I would say, I mean, it's not dead, because for the people that have blocked updates, it still works fine for them, and there is a launcher manager for Android TV devices. So launcher manager itself is continuing, shall we say, but the ability to use launcher manager on the latest update on the Amazon devices has stopped working. But if there is a fix, if something does come out, I definitely will share that with you guys. Yeah, so many people also have this kind of opinion, same as John, whereby they happily will use a 4K Fire Stick or 4K Fire Stick Max in their bedroom, but for their primary streaming device, because they want that extra oomph or that power, and Dolby Atmos or some of these other features that maybe, although I think that is available on the Fire Sticks, but definitely the power, definitely the emulation, the ability to game stream, the ability for GeForce Now, all of that combined in a really nice tidy package. Definitely the NVIDIA Shield is the primary device for many people. Yeah, so this is something somebody left me a comment on my private chat group on Telegram, whereby they apparently did an update and all of their third-party applications, I wouldn't say they were uninstalled, but they were hidden. Now, when I actually tested this myself and I was trying different ways of doing updates, one thing I did know that, or I worked out that if you clear the cache of the default launcher, that basically resets all of your app customization. So if you've added any apps to your your 6 favorite icons, any of those ones, all of that gets reset. But also any third-party applications also get hidden from your app library. So when you go to apps, show my apps, you won't see it there, but it doesn't mean that they're actually removed. It just means that they're hidden. So to bring them back, you go to show all apps, then find the application in there, press the context key, which is the one with 3 lines, and just select the option show in my apps, and that's how you bring it back. I mean, I would be very surprised if Amazon just say from this point forward, we only allow the installation of official apps from the Amazon App Store. Sideloading is completely blocked. I mean, out of interest, if that was the news that, we have the breaking news tomorrow, if that did happen, how quickly would you guys leave the Amazon ecosystem? Would you still stick around, or would you just jump ship? In fact, I think this is the question also from Pete Blue. So, I mean, personally, I know, as I mentioned at the start of this live stream, that things are progressively getting worse, blocking custom launchers, blocking updates, hiding developer options. So all of these things, we can see the path that Amazon are following. They are trying to steer people away from third-party applications, from sideloading. But overall, in the long run, I don't think they would completely stop here. And probably, I wouldn't say I've got much experience, but as you guys know, I have developed my TDUK cache cleaner. Now, for me to test that application on my Fire Stick at home before I published it to the Amazon App Store, obviously ADB debugging had to be enabled, as well as the ability to install applications from unknown sources. Now, if those options were blocked or removed, then there'll be no way for a developer or a wannabe developer to test their application. So long term, I don't think they can disable it completely. I mean, they may do something ridiculous like you have to go into some sort of special service mode to re-enable it, or maybe you even have to buy some special developer mode Fire Sticks for developers. But overall, I can't see them completely blocking the ability to install third-party applications, primarily because this will allow developers to test out their apps. Okay, so Chip is saying he can't play games on the NVIDIA Shield. So is that games from GameStream or from GeForce Now, or what games are you trying to play? So Happy Chick is an app I haven't reviewed for a while. I don't know if there's a latest update for that. Now, for the people that don't know, if you are looking for a super easy method of playing retro games, you can't be bothered to find emulators, you especially can't be bothered to find ROMs, then having Happy Chick, it's a great solution, because through this single application, you can find games, you can download ROMs directly from the application, and you can then go ahead and play them. I know there were some issues in the past where, because the application is, Chinese based, so there were some privacy issues, but I used it for a number of years without any real issues. So I will double check and see if there is an update, and if there is an update, I'll be happy to make an update video for you guys. Yeah, so this is a great application. I mean, sometimes people ask, how do I sideload, or they've got applications that they've downloaded from my website or from other sources. How can they quickly transfer them over to their NVIDIA Shield or their Fire Stick or the Fire TV Cube? Now, as JMax says, really any device, any Android device that supports ADB debugging, which is Android Bridge debugging, as long as your device supports that, you can use Easy Fire Tools, which is available directly on the Play Store, and you can very easily push applications from your phone directly onto your device, and it really is one of the quickest and smartest ways of installing apps onto your device. I think the On is more a budget device. I mean, I'm not questioning how good it is because I haven't seen it myself, but the people have left me comments before, I think because it only cost, I think it's $20 from Walmart. I think at that price point, if you do get an official Android TV device, has all of the certifications, allows you to watch Netflix in 4K, Prime Video, YouTube in 4K, allows you to have expandable storage with a USB drive, all of those features at $20, I think that's very hard to beat. I can't give you a direct comparison between that and the 4K Fire Stick because I haven't seen it myself, but really at that price point, I definitely think it's worthwhile checking out. So this one is very straightforward. So the latest version of this is actually called Aerial Views. So if you just go to my website and go to the search icon and just type in Aerial space Views, you'll get the latest version of that, and that really has some phenomenal 4K Apple TV screensavers. Okay, so I haven't used GeForce in a while, so I can't really comment on that. If anybody else knows, then please do jump in. Yeah, so if you do have an official Android TV device where you have full access to the Play Store, then you can get Aerial Views directly from there. Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff I need to look into, just find what's the best way to host this cache clean. I've actually been looking at another application or trying to get another application working, which is like a one-stop TDUK app killer. So we've seen with some of these other applications where they do terminate the process, but if you go and look at background apps and processes, those apps are still running. So I was thinking about maybe devising a way on how we can, shall we say, just force stop all of your background apps programmatically. So with one click, anything that's running in the background, all of that will be stopped. So I am trying to work on the app in my spare time, and I will, if I can get it working, I will definitely publish that, and you guys can hopefully take or have benefit with that. Yeah, I mean, this does seem to be a problem with some of the newer Fire Sticks where people say that the batteries do deplete, um, should we just say, quicker than normal. Yeah, so this is a question from Ernie. Um, I mean, this is one person asking about Canadian content. Probably the more common one I get is, can you post more streaming apps with, that you can access from the UK? Now, I'm sure you guys know the majority of streaming applications are designed for the USA audience, which we can say, it is the largest audience. So if you're a massive media company, or if you have some, entertainment apps, which are premium apps, which have a subscription, but you want to offer something as a free app, or something with adverts, then in many cases you're going to publish that to USA. Now, I have seen some Canadian applications, and there are some ones from Australia, like I think 7 Now. I think there's one called 9 Now as well. So I'm not being particular, if I find the application, if the application works. Of course, in most cases, you do have to use a VPN, but if I can get it working, then I'm more than happy to make the video. The reason why you just see the majority of them being USA apps is just because that's what the majority of these applications are. Okay, let me just quickly go back to the questions. Okay, so Chip is saying he's having issue downloading Google browser onto. So the browser I normally recommend for Android TV devices, and it's something that's also really good for Amazon devices, is the TV Bro browser, which I have done a review on my extra channel. So if you guys are looking for a browser that has built-in ad blocking, built-in tracking blocking, has really nice interface, you don't need to use any virtual mouse, supports tabbed browsing, of course you can download through the browser, definitely have a look at TV Bro. That is a very, very good browser. I think the previous browser that I would have recommended in maybe a year or so ago would have been the Puffin browser or Puffin TV. That also had tabbed browsing. You could also download through that, but they changed their model and they made downloading a premium option. So with the free version, you can't download anymore. So when that happened, I went ahead and looked at some alternatives, and the best one that I found, which I would still recommend, is TV Bro. Okay, so I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, if I showed you my channel analytics, I think 25% of my audience is from 50 to 65. So the way I see it, you never stop learning. It's a great way to keep yourself engaged, keep yourself busy. There's just so much to learn out there. I certainly don't know everything. I'm learning things every day. So with your feedback, with your comments, and just trial and error, it really makes the whole process so much more interesting. So I'm glad that you are on my channel, and I will try my best to post videos that you guys can benefit from and find useful. And this is exactly what Tim is saying here. So any questions you have, just post it in the chat or leave a comment, and I will try my best to answer it. This one, I can't answer directly, but I think somebody can answer that. I'm sure there's many applications that will give you that kind of content very easily. That's all I can say, but there's definitely many options, free options out there. Yeah, that's a great option. Xbox Game Pass. I actually was a member of that. I had Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but due to time constraints, I didn't really play much, but it really worked well, whether you're playing on your Android TV device or you're playing on your phone. And it has a fantastic large library. And that's one of the key things with Stadia, whereby the, shall we say, the foundation or the infrastructure, the framework is very good, but they're really lacking games. So there's no point having great servers, great features, great plugins. If the games are not there, then somebody that's really a true gamer is not gonna sign up. Whereas with Xbox Game Pass, they have a fantastic library of games. Yeah, so I did actually buy a Raspberry Pi in the old days. I'd say I think last year, although that was more for retro emulation because, as you guys probably know, there are so many retro Pi images whereby you just get a small SD card, you flash an image on there, which is the retro Pi image, and you now have a great retro emulation console running from that Pi. Supports 8 and 16-bit consoles, and it's a really nifty device. And I know you can also get the Pi hole feature, which will allow you to block adverts at the DNS level in your home network. So all of the devices in your house would now be using the Pi hole for its DNS, and the Pi hole will just have a big list of block domains, shall we say advert domains, tracking domains, anything that would potentially serve you adverts. The Pi hole would just quash that request or just block that request, so you won't see any adverts on any of your devices, whether that's your phones, your tablets, your streaming devices. All of that will be blocked. Hey man, I see you on here. So this one, I've not done this. Obviously, the step one for this is to actually root your device. Now, unfortunately, that process does require you to open your Fire Stick and short out some pins. Now, I think probably I would struggle with that, or maybe I could eventually fudge my way through it. But the reason why I didn't want to make that into a video, because I think people would just end up breaking their Fire Sticks, and I don't really want to have that responsibility, because unfortunately that's just the way it goes. You make a video, people follow it, it breaks their device, and then next thing you know, everyone's just fuming in the comments. So it's not for the, shall we say, standard user or even the medium to advanced user. It's a fairly advanced process of shorting those pins inside the Fire Stick, running a Linux distribution to then connect to the Fire Stick, send some commands, and then to fully unlock it. Once the bootloader is unlocked, you can then load another operating system, and you have complete control of that device. But I mean, there are videos out there, so it's not like it's never been done. So if that's something that you want to explore, there are many tutorials, videos, and XDA is a great resource if you want to read about that. So this is a very interesting question, because as you guys know, this particular application has stopped receiving updates, or should we say the developer is not actively updating this, but many people are still using it. As long as you do use RD, the Debrid application with this, there are still many links available. So in fact, do leave me a comment below and let me know if you guys are streaming with RD, or are you just somebody that does everything free? Because the way I always see it is, once you use RD, you will never ever stream without it. And in fact, because I do have lots of RD vouchers, if anybody doesn't have real Debrid, or I might as well just say it now, if anybody doesn't have real Debrid, send me an email. I will give you a free 30-day voucher. You can try out all of your favorite applications, including this one that Igor has mentioned. They all support RD. The K application supports RD. All of your your add-ons and builds support RD. Try it out. You'll have 30 days to try it out. I'm sure you'll absolutely love it. Yep, definitely RD for the win. It's just too, I mean, and the price they've, what they've set out, I think it's like $2 or $3 per month. I mean, at that price point, if you do, subscribe to that, you get the highest quality links, you get the highest bitrate, you get cache torrents. They've just made the process so easy that if you are interested in streaming, you don't want to get buffering, you don't want to get low quality content. At that price point, honestly, it's an absolute no-brainer. And again, if you've never tried it, send me an email. I'll sort things out for you. Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, people don't want to host that content on free servers, so a lot of it is moving over to the premium servers. So with that, RD is really the best way to find that content, and it really is the only way I would stream anything if I was to stream. In fact, talking about streaming, do leave me a comment and let me know which official services you guys subscribe to. So I'll start and I'll say that I do subscribe to Netflix, not the UHD tier, just the HD tier. And I also subscribe to Disney Plus, and I also subscribe to Amazon Prime. So they're the three things I subscribe to. So let me know if any of you guys are paying for any official services, because I'm sure you guys know that I think Disney Plus recently also announced a price increase, and I think they're following in Netflix's footsteps, whereby they're going to increase the prices but then offer an ad-supported tier at a slightly discounted price. But it really is just pure greed. I mean, at the height of the cost of living going up, people struggling to make ends meet, these massive companies making millions and millions of dollars of profit, what do? I mean, imagine they said, you know what, guys, we've just made so much profit, and I know that people are, maybe struggling with, things. We're now going to offer, 20% off to all of our users. Forget that. They're saying we're going to increase our prices because they're going to just make even more money, which is just crazy. So, but that's just the way with these big corporations. They're not interested in being your friend. They're not interested in being nice. They're interested in one thing and one thing only, and that is money. Yep, another RD user here. Okay, so we have somebody that subscribes to Prime, Netflix, Disney, okay, and Hulu. Okay, that's good. So this is a good question. So I would just say, personally, I never use a VPN when I'm using RD. So whether I'm doing cache torrents, I mean, to be fair, I've only ever used cache torrents, so I've never used the other process of actually scraping or actually downloading through a torrent. So for somebody just using cache torrents like me, or just using links from premium file hosts, I never use any VPN. In that video I did mention that on the RD's privacy policy, they do say that they do collect some data, like your IP address, like some of the files that have been accessed, but they do, and they only store that for, I think it's 6 months or something. And I think some people are a bit worried about that, and because of that they use a VPN. I personally don't. So if I'm using RD, I just use it without using a VPN. Yeah, Lineage OS is a good one. Now that's a great package. If you can get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for $10 a month, that where do I sign up? Now that sounds fantastic. Yeah, 100%. It's just too good. The RD is just too good. And I actually feel a bit sorry for people that have never experienced it, and they're using free applications, looking at really bad quality links, loads of buffering. They try and fast forward or press rewind. It just hangs for like 20 seconds. Those people definitely need to get on the RD bandwagon. Okay, so yep, Vandross is also subscribed to RD, as well as Netflix, Disney, and BritBox. Yes, I actually covered this in my last Amazon update video, whereby one of the key things that was added in the update was the new Prime Video, should we say, UI changes. So they have added some new content, but the whole layout of the application looks much nicer. They've got a free section as well, so if you want to enjoy free content supported with adverts, then you can also do that. And that actually was a very good update, and I would say probably the biggest update to Amazon Prime since it's launched. This is a very interesting comment, which I'll just go to just a second. Alright, so there's some feedback there on what you want to watch. Okay, so this is a fair comment, and for some people that don't want to watch 4K streams, that they're not interested in high bitrate streams, if they're happy looking at 720p content or even 1080p content, if they can find that, then that's perfectly fine. That's the key thing. You have to understand that there are different use cases. So what's acceptable for some may not be acceptable for other people. So some people just haven't even got $2, or they don't want to spend $2 on anything, on a subscription, on RD or anything. So if that's their use case, there's no point me talking about that. For those guys, just go ahead and find free applications or look at APK time, those kind of applications. You'll definitely find something in there. Other people are happy to spend some money. They just want the highest quality streams. They're looking for high bitrate. They're looking for Dolby Atmos. They're looking for HDR content. That kind of stuff you're not going to find on free servers. So if that's your use case, sign up for RD. Or if you haven't used RD, send me an email and I'll sort you out. Okay, so that's Mr. Tibbs there. So this one, I don't know if there's a particular add-on or something for this, but if any of you guys know, do jump in. Yes, this one I probably can't talk too much about, but it's actually very, very easy to do. Can I talk about this? I'll just say that just literally open up Google and just search for cheap Netflix with VPN, and I think Brazil is one option. You can literally get, I would say, Netflix at half or quarter of the price by using a VPN. You do have to find a country that will allow you to use a non-local country credit card to make that payment, but it's definitely possible. I know many people that do it. So if you are looking for the cheapest way and you're happy to using a VPN, just Google for that and you'll definitely find it. Yeah, so do let me know who received this email today. I received it this morning telling me that there was a data breach with Plex whereby they believe a third party or unknown actors have had access to their database. They've got people's usernames, people's email address, people's passwords. Although the passwords were hashed, that doesn't mean they can't break it, but that data has been leaked. So Plex are recommending that go ahead and change your password as soon as possible. So if any of you guys do use Plex and you have created an account, definitely go ahead and change your password. I mean, do many of you guys actually use Plex for what it was designed for, which is to access your local media library? I personally don't. I have used it in the past and I have done demonstrations setting that up for people that want to do that. Works remarkably well. But it'll be interesting to see if any of you guys are using Plex to its full potential. I personally just have a NAS drive, which is a Synology. It's a 2-bay NAS with two 6 terabyte hard drives, and basically all of the movies that I've purchased are on this NAS drive, and then I use the K application across the house to access that content. And I would say, and I think I say it every time, that over the years, all of the streaming apps, all of the media players, all of the stuff that I've seen, all of that, I would still say the K application is by far the best media player I've ever used. It just plays all content. It just literally anything you throw at it, it plays it, no issues, no problems. And whether I'm doing this on my PC or doing this on a Fire Stick or an Nvidia Shield, through the K application, I can access my NAS and access all of that local content. And I do think it's the best application for that. So this one, you just want to double check to make sure you are logged in with the same account, and that should synchronize your access, and you should be able to access the same Prime videos, whether you're doing this on your iPad or your Fire Stick. Okay, so slight disclaimer there from Tim. So yes, if you, maybe that's in the small print, that yes, we will give you Hulu, ESPN, Disney Plus for $10. You just have to subscribe to us for 27 years first. Once you've met that threshold, we will then sort you out. So maybe that's in the small print. Now this is mega interesting because I was recently browsing media players, or maybe I saw a comment from somebody, looking for alternatives to access local content, and I came across Nova Player. Now I can't give you a detailed review or feedback on it just yet, but what I definitely saw in the 2 hours of using it, it was really quick. It very quickly indexed all of my content. It showed me the banners and the thumbnails for all of my movies and TV shows, and it actually worked really well. So I will be looking more into that. And if you're looking for something that's quicker to set up, I would say, than the K application, and you want to access local content, I would definitely give the Nova video player a look. It's available directly on the Amazon App Store, probably also Android TV. So if you are looking for that, definitely give that a look. So this is something that you'll have to obviously investigate and try it yourselves. I personally, I just have my content on my NAS drive, and I have the K application installed as a media player, and I just access that content. But I mean, there's many tutorials on Plex if you want to see what's possible. And I think some NASs actually give you the Plex plugin directly on the NAS, so you don't need to use a PC to catalog your content. You can actually run the Plex service, kind of like what you can do on the Nvidia Shield, the Nvidia Shield Pro, which has that Plex service built in. So if you do want to index and catalog your home media, you can do that directly from the Shield. Okay, so let me just go back to the questions. Yep, so that's the ISP there. Oh, interesting. So I didn't know it was that old, so maybe they're recently pushing it more because it recently came up in my applications, and yeah, definitely it worked well. Hey Larry, so I did actually answer this before, but I'm looking at ways into how I can publish or how I can distribute this application, because I can't get into the Play Store now. I've given up on that process, because as soon as the Play Store team, shall we call them, I mean, it's probably just robots, but as soon as they see those ADB commands in the code, I think they presume it's a hacking tool or something, or they're saying it's malicious, so they just seem to constantly reject my application. So I've actually just stopped doing that, but I'm looking for alternatives on how I can bring you guys the application. So I think this is a local ISP, so I can't really comment on that, but if you guys can recommend a good reliable ISP for our USA friends, then please do. Actually, in fact, do leave me a comment and let me know what kind of home internet you guys have. So I'll start again and say I've got 1 gig broadband with Virgin Media, which is fiber optic broadband. So that's 1 gig downstream and about, I think it's about 30 or 40 meg upstream. So let me know what kind of internet speeds you guys have in your current location. Okay, so this one, the good thing with Amazon digital content is you can access all of that through the browser. So if you log into your Amazon account on Amazon.com or whatever your local country is, there's actually a section which says my digital content or my apps and digital content, and there you can see anything you've purchased, and from that actual section of the web page you can push out content to your e-reader, to your tablet, or to your any other device. So that's also another way you can push Amazon applications from a browser. So if you don't want to be looking through your Fire Stick to find interesting apps, you can go onto the Amazon webpage, go to the app section, any application you search for. Once you find the application, you'll actually see an option which says send this to TDUK's Fire Stick, and that will then be pushed to your device. So that's another way you can get applications onto your device. And the recent video I made on Just Watch, for some reason some of you couldn't find that in the App Store, but another way you can get that is by going to the Amazon website. This one I can't comment on because I've not used Premu Eyes. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it is another Debrid service. As far as I know, we have Real Debrid, we have All Debrid, and we have this Premier Eyes. So I've only ever used RD, and because I've never had any issues with it, I've never had to look elsewhere. If any of you guys do use the other services, then please do share your comments. But I personally just used RD and never looked elsewhere. Yes, this kind of stuff, like this, I can't comment on that. If one debrid service has less links than the other because I've not used them. But if you guys can share any feedback, then that would be appreciated, and it will help out the other people in the chat. Yep. Okay. Some good feedback there. Okay. Got 500 meg with Virgin, 980 meg with Spectrum. Okay. So 500 meg with BT, and from 40 meg from so TalkTalk. I knew somebody that had TalkTalk, and I think they are very cheap, which is why many people do start out with them. But ultimately, it's just very frustrating where you get constant low speeds, you get dropouts, disconnects, and the customer service is not great either. So I know many people that have left TalkTalk and are typically happier when they move. Saying that, I can't say Virgin Media is amazingly reliable, because it's not. Like, I've had more outages with Virgin Media than I had with my previous ISP, so I wouldn't say it's the most reliable. The only thing is, if you do want very, very fast speeds, it's one of the best in the UK. Yeah, I mean, this is a really good comment, because I know people want to see big numbers, but as you guys know, if you look at Netflix, even if you have I think it's like 15 or 20 meg connection, that's more than enough for 4K streaming. So really, you don't need to have numbers like 200 meg. I mean, obviously it's nice to have that, especially if you're going to be doing downloading, but if you're just a streamer, then 50 meg is more than enough, or 100 meg is more than enough for an entire household to be simultaneously streaming. I wish I had gigabyte up, because obviously when I'm like live streaming now, or when I'm doing uploads, it's the upload speed that actually makes a difference. So having 1 gig upload means I'll be able to upload my videos much faster. Now, as you guys know, anytime you activate your VPN, it is going to obviously slow things down, because you're now encrypting traffic, you are now sending traffic through that secure tunnel. That process will always reduce your speed. And if you can get 200 meg like Wuja, then that really is more than enough for even 8K streaming. But of course, it will be nice to get the most speed that you can. One thing I will recommend, I don't know if you guys saw my previous video on WireGuard, but I did find WireGuard makes a massive difference on, I won't say on all devices, but on most devices where I activated it, I definitely saw an increased throughput with the VPN on. So if you haven't already, do have a look at the WireGuard protocol. Okay, so blaming your location there. 600 meg, that's a very respectable speed. I mean, this one, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can actually do a poll here. Can I do a poll? I don't know how to, because I've seen on other people's live chats. Oh, here we go. All right, so here's the poll, guys. So, do you think Amazon will block? Okay, if I can just spell correctly. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys this question. I hope it appears okay. Let me know if you guys can see it. I'm not sure how it appears in the chat, but if you can see it, then please do vote, and then we can try and get some more, should we say, statistical, analytical feedback and see what you guys think. So, okay, so the votes are coming in now. So we can see, okay, so it was quite balanced there, but it's, okay, well, I'll leave you guys to it so you can vote and let me know what you think. But the reason I gave before, and I'm not saying I'm definitely right, is I just think for developers, if you imagine like, how many people are actually developing applications for these Fire Sticks or these Amazon devices, if they can't sideload these applications, because the way you test out these applications, the way you check for bugs, check to see if there's any problems, you have to sideload it onto your device. And if I can't sideload that onto my device because Amazon have blocked third-party sideloading, then that's not going to work. So That's why I really can't see that happening. I'm not saying that Amazon are not going to continue making it worse. I mean, we saw with the last update, it required you to press, the about button 7 times to get those options back. But maybe in the future it'll require 20 presses, or there'll be another way to do it. So they definitely most likely will make the process more difficult. I just can't see them completely blocking it out. Okay, so far on the polls we have 65% people think no, they will not block it, and 35% think yes, they will completely block it. All right, so I mean, there's just so many things in the mix. Without going into all of the details, if you imagine your broadband connection, your ISP, the routers or routers, the number of people sharing that, the contention ratio, there's just so many factors in what determines your speed. So I've never used Surfshark VPN. I know that's quite popular. I've seen it on lots of other YouTubers channels where it seems to be a popular sponsor for tech videos. But personally, I always use IPVanish. I have my backup as ExpressVPN. But if somebody asks me for, I just want the cheapest, the most I don't want to say budget, but just literally like the dirt cheapest VPN out there, then for that guy I always recommend Ivacy VPN. So I'm guessing most of you guys do have a VPN, but if you haven't, the one I personally recommend is IPVanish. And if you don't like IPVanish, maybe you've had some issues with them in the past, my backup for the premium recommendation is always ExpressVPN. In fact, do let me know what is your current VPN provider. Just one word, and I'll be able to see what the common ones are. So do leave me a comment and let me know who your current preferred VPN provider is. Steve, how's it going, man? Hope you're well. Definitely recognize your name. And as I said before, it really is a pleasure just seeing the familiar names in the chat. Really appreciate it. And I definitely do recognize you. And all I can say is just many thanks for your support. Very interesting comment here, actually. So you're saying that because I've seen this as well, where you can send apps to your Fire devices with one click. So I don't know. I mean, that's for obviously apps that are already published. But the point I was making was if I'm beta testing an application, if I'm still coding an application, that means the application is not on the App Store yet. How can I get that onto my device? So a question from Joe, if anybody has had an issue updating their Fire Stick recently, I would say on my 4K Fire Stick Max, the last 2 updates, it took a hell of a long time, whereby you'd click on update now, it would say it's updating, but then when you move away from the screen and go back, it would then say again, install update. I would say that took at least half an hour. So, I mean, with these things, you just have to let the Fire Stick do its stuff. You can try restarting your Fire Stick, and the way you do that, if you didn't know, was you hold down the play and the select buttons for 6 seconds or 8 seconds. That does a true restart. So restart your device, check for updates again, and see if that clicks that into gear, or see if that kicks that off. The only thing I would recommend is make sure your VPN is disabled, because I've just noticed funny behavior when the VPN is on and you're trying to install updates. So make sure your VPN is off, restart your device, and see if that fixes your update issue. Okay, so got an IPVanish user here, Surfshark, Steve. Okay, so this DigiBee, I've not heard of them. So I mean, £2.50 a month. I mean, this is one of the things with Ivacy. Like, I know they get a lot of heat, but I would say, for unlocking content, they are very good. But if you're paying $1 a month, give or take, then I don't think you can complain too much. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of speeds you get, Mr. Marquis Sim, for your £2.50 a month VPN. What kind of speeds you get with that, and does it actually allow you to unlock Netflix or BBC iPlayer or some of those, or Peacock TV, some of those other apps? Can you actually unlock those apps and access them? Okay, we have an Ivacy user. So Mr. 718, nice to see you in the chat. As one of my channel members. This one is not really a well-known VPN, and in many cases that's actually a positive thing, because normally the more people start using it, it becomes more commercial and maybe loses some of that, initial appeal. This one I've only ever heard good things about. I've never used it myself, but it's supposed to be a very, very good, reliable VPN. Okay, Vandross is very similar to me. So I have IPVanish and Ivacy. I'm IPVanish and Express for premium, and for budget, Ivacy. Yeah, so try that on your device, the reboot method, and also making sure your VPN is not on. Yeah, this one, yeah, so there's multiple ways of looking at it. One is, like I mentioned, that from a developer's point of view, I can't see them blocking developers sideloading their apps to test them. The other thing is, obviously, they must know that the majority of people are using these Fire Sticks to sideload, streaming apps or third-party apps, wherever it is. So, are you really going to, cut off that hand? Because I would definitely say 100%. If all of a sudden now all Amazon devices are blocked from using sideloading, I definitely think sales would plummet, and it will maybe not plummet, but it will definitely affect their sales. Yeah, so those ads are being served. So if you can find the domains that's serving those adverts, then it should be possible to potentially block them. But you don't have the issue where, because you're blocking certain addresses, and those same IP addresses are where Amazon gets the banners for your application. So if you notice that your apps now don't have the correct banners, it could be because things are being blocked, and because they're being blocked, it can't load those banners or those application icons properly. In fact, are all of you guys that have updated, has your issue on Fire OS 7 with those missing banner icons, has that been resolved? I know on my device I did have to wait for a while and also clear the cache of my Amazon App Store app before that fixed itself, but definitely now I can say on my 4K Fire Stick Max I do not have any issue running those third-party apps with those banners missing or those icons missing. Those have all been fixed for me. So I'm not sure if this is Facebook, but I can't comment on that. If anybody else can, then please do jump in. I mean, this is a fair point from Ron, because at the end of the day, if you're paying £2.50 or you're paying $1 a month, then yeah, you're not going to get the best speeds. Customer service, you're going to be lucky to to speak to even a human, because if a company's charging such a low amount of money, then those cost savings, or should we say those corner cuttings, have to happen somewhere. So maybe the servers will be shared servers, so you won't get the best speed. Maybe the customer service will be just 5 people instead of 5. Prompt. Let me know if you guys got a slight blip there, because I think something happened on my machine. I don't know if my machine's telling me now I need to go to bed, because it's just gone past midnight here. Can you guys still hear me okay? I can still see the comments okay. Okay, so good feedback there, getting good speeds. Even front server, okay, fair enough. Hey Scott, nice to see you on here. So Scott is one of my old school original supporters, so really appreciate you joining. I was just saying that's just to hit midnight here, so I don't know how long I can carry on, but I will try my best to answer as many questions as I can before I call it a night. And I will just say again, guys, I do want to make these live streams as regular as possible, because for me, it's just the best way I can interact with you. And so many times, seeing the same comments, just having a quick chat, answering those questions, getting your feedback is just so much easier with the live stream than, making a whole video. So I definitely want to at least promise that I will be making more live streams. The only thing I can't promise is a set schedule, because because of work and everything else, it's hard to get the guaranteed slot. But if you guys are subscribed to my channel with all notifications, you will definitely get notification that I'm going live or I am live, so you can hopefully join then. But again, I will be trying my best to do more live streams, and I really do appreciate your support. Okay, so I think you guys can still hear me, because I'm seeing the comments come through again. Yeah, so look, no icons missing. Great feedback, Henry. Thank you. So, question from Jason that audio soundbar, go through the steps, power off. Okay, that's very interesting. Normally for those devices in the equipment setup, I think I'll just recommend trying to do that again. If it passes the test, which is normally put the volume up and down, if that's okay, then it should store that information. Maybe try giving your device a restart first and try pairing that again. Okay, so Judy has a shield. So is there a launcher? So I don't know if there's a PC type launcher on the shield, but I have reviewed a remote desktop application which will allow you to remote desktop from your shield to your PC if you want to do that, but I'm not really sure of the use case. But if anybody else knows, then please do jump in. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm glad that we're back now, so hopefully we shouldn't have that problem again. Yep, froze for a moment, but we're back. Okay, so yeah, hey Ben. All of you guys thought maybe you got some issues with your ISP, but I think it was an issue on my side. Okay, so this one, again, I would say it's a person by person, use case by use case answer. So I would say probably the first thing is what's your budget. If it's like, has to be sub $50 or £50, then actually I don't even think you can get the Chromecast for that price. But I think the on streaming, there's the stick and there's the box. I think the box is a little bit more powerful, so that is only, I think, $20. That's definitely worthwhile checking out. If you can get the Chromecast with Google TV, that's more powerful, a bit more premium. That's also another device checking out. If money is no object, then obviously you can go to more expensive devices like the Nvidia Shield. Okay, so yeah, so that's an option if you want to do that. That's fine. Very interesting, huh? So all of a sudden I start talking about, guys, these big companies are trying to shut us down, or Netflix is too expensive, and the next thing you know, my stream gets shut down. So I don't know if there's the big guys watching us, but hopefully they're gone. And all of these spam comments coming through now, if you guys, your moderators, you can just ban those people, or just report them and get them off. Okay, so let's go through the comments quickly. Marshall D, how are you, man? Nice to see you here. I know everybody misses that M application. It was the longest running application and probably the most famous one. I mean, if your application gets mentioned in the national news, then you know that you've made it, but it also means that it's just too big, too popular, and it's only a matter of time before the authorities come to shut you down, and they did shut it down. In terms of replacements, I would just say have a look on the APK Time app website, and there's many options on there that will give you that kind of content. Thank you, Tim. I will try at least for 10 more minutes, so do get your final questions in, and I will try and make this, I will try and answer as many questions as I can, and again I will try and do these more frequently. John, appreciate your support. Yeah, so I've seen something like this from other people whereby their Fire Stick is just stuck on that initial welcome screen, and it could be a cropped update, it could be something wasn't installed properly. The great thing is with Amazon, probably the best thing is their customer service. So very easy, you can just go back to Amazon, so you purchase this Fire Stick if you bought it from Amazon, and in 9 times out of 10 they always give you free replacements. I appreciate your support. So I can only recommend what I've used personally myself. Previously I had a Netgear WR1000, but recently I went to try out Wi-Fi 6, mainly for the 4K Fire Stick Max, just so I could see what the fuss was all about. And I'm now using an ASUS router, which can I get you the right? Let me get you the right model number if I can quickly. So the exact model number I'm using is I'll copy and paste it out so you guys can see it. So this in the chat you'll see in a few seconds is my current Wi-Fi 6 router. So I had no issues with it. Has great signal, supports Wi-Fi 6. It's fairly competitively priced, and I have no issues recommending it. I can't say it's the best router or router because I've not seen other ones, but when I did my research, it definitely had good comments, good reviews, good feedback, and I've had no real issues with it. Okay, so I think Judy has a separate use case here that they're actually trying to use it like a PC. So maybe you have to be a bit more specific in what you actually want to do on this device. I mean, if it's going to be things like word processing, then that might be a bit tricky. I mean, the 4K Fire Stick Max only came out fairly recently, so I can't see that a new Fire Stick coming out anytime soon, to be honest. We have got the new Cube coming, so if you're looking for the most recent, most powerful device, then that's the one to go for. I really can't see a new Fire Stick being released anytime soon, just because they want to maximize. Typically, they release a new Fire Stick, they put it on sale for a bit, then it becomes the most popular device. Only when it starts getting a bit slow and a bit rugged and a bit problematic, then they start potentially teasing out a new one. But for now, because it's so new, I can't see them releasing a new Fire Stick anytime soon. I mean, this I would pay money for, because I'm sure you guys have seen, not just with me, but with other YouTubers like Doc Squiffy and Free Tech, Upgrade Guy. We have Chris. Is one of the recent guys I've been speaking to. There's just so many YouTubers. We got Cord Cutter, Li. These people are all trying their best to earn an honest living. They are only showing you legal applications. They are trying their best to stay within the boundaries of the YouTube policies, even though those are constantly changing. But with that, they're still getting strikes. I mean, Cord Cutter Li recently received a strike for Distro TV. I mean, I can't even think of any more official application, and I think Chris has received like 10 strikes in the last couple of months. So it's ridiculous, and in every case, all of those strikes were lifted after escalation. So they're just really making publishing videos on this platform very, very difficult, even if you are trying to stay within those boundaries. YouTube are just there's just too much of a monster, and unfortunately they don't have any real competitor. Imagine if YouTube had a real competitor, then they would actually listen to the creator, because they know that, oh, if we annoy TechDoctorUK and all these other hundreds of different streaming YouTubers, they may run off to another platform. So let's maybe listen to what they're saying. Let's try to understand what this issue is with this policy. Why do their videos keep getting flagged? How can we make this process better? But because YouTube have no competition, they have no rival, they just don't care. They can just do what they want and get away with it. So it is very frustrating, and I just hope we can survive on this platform. And unfortunately, many good guys in the streaming community lost their channels. Rojas lost his channel with over 100,000 subscribers. Lots of other people lost their channel, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. So it is very frustrating. Look at that. Now that's what you call very straight to the point advice. So if you got the bucks, you got the greens, you got the money, get the Nvidia Shield. If not, get the Chromecast. Great middle device. Home use, you can get the Mi Cool, or maybe a budget device like the On. Okay, so I'm going to try and go through these comments quickly. Actually, when I made those Amazon update videos, there were some comments saying, have you been like bought out by Amazon, or Amazon paying you to showcase their features? I was like, what? I mean, I'm not saying I would say no, but just crazy how people would come to that conclusion. But now, fortunately, I'm sure they, with some of those, Wolf Launcher videos, and it's just crazy. You make a video, and then a couple of months later, they now block that ability. So clearly, some of the guys are watching the content, but yeah, they haven't been in touch directly. Many thanks. Appreciate your support. Yes, I mean, I think even if they did block it, I'm sure there'll be some kind of workaround. Yeah, so comment here from CO Jack. So this one I believe has come back. I think they just put an RE before it, so Cloud. I think that's the new version. So very popular application. It's open source, no adverts. So if you guys are looking for that kind of content, that is now again available. Fran, very nice to see you on here. I'm really sorry for the late notification. Like I was saying before, I'm trying my best to do more of these live streams because I honestly just love interacting with you and answering your questions, and this real-time interaction. It's really nice, and I definitely will try and do more live streams so we can hopefully spend more time together and get that interaction. So again, let me apologize for the late notification, but it's great to see so many of you on here. All right, so Jeff is in the process of testing a Chromebox converted to Linux. Yeah, I mean, lots of people are tired of the control and the restrictions, and they are, taking it upon themselves to find alternatives. So without getting into all of the details, this is just a streaming application that you can find content online, lots of different content. Yeah, so Scott, so this was, I think, announced on AFTV News. So they are in the works a new Fire TV Cube. I don't think they've got the full details just yet, but you can expect it to be at least a little bit faster than the current Fire TV Cube. It should have Wi-Fi 6, so that'll be interesting to see. And when that is released, we can comfortably say that that will be the most powerful Amazon device available in the market. We really appreciate you, Steve. I know, and I think I saw the tweet for that when he got it demonetized, he raised a case, no one did anything. Then eventually the next day the video was monetized again. He first thanked Team YouTube on Twitter, which is their official support handle, but then a couple hours later he said that it actually transpired that it wasn't Team YouTube. They did nothing, which is more typical. It was actually somebody, one of his followers that watches his content. I think he works for Google, or he had a contact in there. He reached out to them and asked them, please check out this video. There's no reason why it's being demonetized. Please check it out. When they checked it out, they fixed it. So lucky that there was somebody like that, and it just shows you that Team YouTube themselves, they did nothing. And if you follow Team YouTube on Twitter like I do, it's just a constant daily barrage of messages from people saying either they've had videos removed, they've had videos demonetized, they've had videos age restricted, and in 9 times out of 10 YouTube will say, oh, we're now looking into this, and a couple hours later, oh, really sorry, we've now restored the video. But what they don't understand is during that time, that video is now completely offline. Forget that video ever doing well in the algorithm. It's pretty much a dead video. So even though you get your video back, and that's only if it comes back in a couple of hours, I've had videos removed for 2 days sometimes. After 2 days, they restore the video, but that video is completely dead. We appreciate you, Tim, and many thanks to the mods that have joined, so I do appreciate your time. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that performs. Okay, I think I'm going to have to... I think actually Doc Squiffy did a video on this, so I think he's actually posting videos on TikTok, so if you're interested in that, do go and check out his channel, because I think he has covered this before. So I'll say at 12:20, so 20 minutes past midnight, let me just take this opportunity to say a massive thanks to all of you guys. Really appreciate you joining my live stream at very short notice. I will just say one more time, I really do appreciate your support. I do recognize the names in the chat, in the comments. Your support really makes this channel what it is, and without that support, this channel will be nothing. So let me just say many thanks for that. I will be trying to do my best to do more live streams, because again, this interaction is, you can't get it in a static video. So please do double check and make sure you are subscribed with all notifications. So hopefully when I live stream again, we can carry on this conversation, we can ask each other questions, we can just collaborate and just, find out what's happening in the streaming community, I definitely would enjoy that. So really appreciate your support. Hope you guys stay safe, look after each other, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks. Take care, guys.